Hello friends, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to my channel as a graphics and multimedia. My name is Rafi Yakub right here, and in today's video you are going to learn how to create a photography business card step-by-step tutorial, print ready template in Photoshop without any step skipped. So with that being said, let's dive into the tutorial and see how to create a photography business card. But before we dive deep into the tutorial, if you're very new to this channel, remember to click on the subscribe, turn on the notification bell, so each time I post content about Photoshop tutorial, you'll be notified. So with that being said, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is to come to the home tab right here, click on file, and make sure you click on new. So the next thing you want to do is to come to the top right here, title your design a photographic card. The next thing you need to do is to come to the width. Make sure you type in 3.25 for the width, and then the height should be 1.75. Your resolution should be 300, and then your color should be CMYK. Finally, you come down below here and click on create. So next thing you want to do is to drag your ruler both vertical and horizontal, then make sure it's snapped to the page. Next thing you want to do is to come to the home tab right here, go to image, from image go to canvas size, and at a point here, this is where you need to add your safe zone. Type in 0.25 for the width, and then come to the height, type in 0.25 for the height, and then you click on OK. So you're going to have stuff like the next thing you want to do is to make sure you drag your ruler again, both vertical and horizontal. Make sure it's snapped to page. Next thing you want to do is to go back to the home tab right here, go to image, and then you look for canvas size. So at a point here, make sure you had another 0.25 for the width, and then 0.25 for the height, and click on OK. So you are done with the layout. So the next thing you want to do is to play with shapes and color to create a fantastic photography business card. So the first thing we want to do right now is to go to our toolbar right here. We click and hold down, and we make sure we select our rectangle tool. Having selected rectangle tool, we have to come to the top right here. We make sure we can change the color for now, and we come to the shape right here. We make sure shape is checked. Then we have to come to the artwork and draw a rectangle all over straight down like this. Next thing we want to do is to come to the layer panel right here. We double click on the layer thumbnail, and at this point here we have to change the color right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to right click on the shape right here, and we go to blending options, pattern overlay. Then right here I will control the opacity. Then I'll click on OK, Control plus to zoom out, so I'm satisfied with this effect. So next thing I'm going to do is to come to the layer right here. I will create a new layer. Then having created a new layer, I'll have to come to my toolbar right here. I will click and hold down and make sure I select rectangle tool. Having selected rectangle tool, then I will draw a rectangle like this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to make a duplicate of this rectangle. I will right click, and I'll make sure I click on duplicate layer, and I'll click on OK. Now what I'm going to do next is to fall back to the rectangle tool layer. I will double click on the layer right here, and I will change the color for now, and I click on OK. Then I have to go to edit, and I will look for free transform. The duplicate one right here, I will just take it down a little bit and create a kind of a little gap just like that, and I'll make sure I make this out more bigger. I'll make it out like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is to come to the top right here and click on this check mark to accept. Next thing I'm going to do is to go back to my layer panel. I'll make sure I select the two rectangle layer. Then I will have to go to the home tab right here. I will click on edit, and I will make sure I look for free transform. Now what I'm going to do next is to make sure I rotate. I'll come to the top right here. I will make sure I type in -25 degree, and let's see. So we're going to adjust this one right here. Once I'm satisfied with the adjustment, I'll come to the top right here and click on this check mark to accept. Then Control plus to zoom out. So next thing I'm going to do right now is to come to the layer panel right here. I will create a new layer. Having make a new layer, I'll go back to my toolbar right here. I'll click and hold down. I make sure I choose my rectangle tool. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to draw another rectangle. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I can change this particular color for now to something like this for a proper differentiation. Then At this point here, I have to make sure I duplicate this shape into two. So for me to do that, we just to come to the layer right here. I'll right click on the layer and I'll click on duplicate layer. Just click on OK. Now this duplicate one right here, we have to take it to the top a little bit and create a kind of gap. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is to make the tool layer active. I have to come to the layer right here, press Ctrl key down and select my rectangle 3 shape. The next thing I'm going to do is to go to the home tab right here. I will make sure I click on edit and I will look for my free transform. Okay, so at the top right here, I need to make sure I type in minus 25 degree. So I'm going to have something like this. The next thing I'm going to do is to make sure I adjust this particular shape and make sure it snap right here. Then I have to adjust this particular one right here. And so we have this way, and I have to adjust this also. So the next thing I'm going to do is to make sure I make all the shape active. I'll press Shift key and select the third rectangle, and I'll press Ctrl T to open the transform tool. Then we can take it in a little bit like this. So a proper adjustment is just needed right here. So once you're satisfied with the proper adjustment, come to the top right here and click on this check mark. You are done. So we can press Ctrl plus to zoom out and Ctrl minus to zoom in. Now what I'm going to do next is to import the picture to the business card. So we can start from this one right here. So I'm going to go to my home tab right here. I'll go to file and I will look for place embedded. And I'll come to the image layer. I will right click on it and I'll click on create clipping mask. Then I can adjust the picture. So we have to repeat the same process for the rest of the shape. So we have to click on here and we go to file, place embedded. So at this point now, the next thing to do is to add text into our business card. So let's check it out.